Well, good evening, everyone, trustees and all who are joining us in person. It's great to have a little crowd here tonight in person, and welcome. Emory students are with us, reporting on our board meeting this evening. I haven't met all of you, but Julia May I got to meet earlier. So thank you for coming. It's great to have you. And to all who are joining us remotely, we are so delighted to celebrate Arab American Heritage Month during April. I really appreciate our visitors this evening from the Arab American Parent Group. It was really one of the first or second parent groups that I met 9 summers ago when I came to Ann Arbor, and that group has remained very, very consistent and very deeply engaged in our work across the county, and I really appreciate. And they actually work across the state with many, many connections. This is a great time to celebrate the history, heritage, culture, and diversity of Arab Americans, as well as to honor their many significant contributions to society. You may not realize it, but it's an estimated 3.7 million Americans have Arab roots, and according to the U.S. Census Bureau, many of us are aware, Dearborn, Michigan is the home of our nation's largest percentage of Arab Americans. Americans of Arab heritage are valued as a part of the fabric of our Ann Arbor Public Schools community, the state of Michigan, and our nation in their contributions to every field and profession. We celebrate the accomplishments of educators, artists, and writers, poets, and musicians who promote the Arab American heritage and culture. It's a testament to the contributions that Arab Americans have made to America's rich diversity. Notable individual highlights include Farouk El-Baz, who was a NASA lead geologist for the Apollo space program, and James Aburzek. I had an opportunity to read more about this individual. You may have noticed his obituary in the New York Times. He recently passed away, but he was the first Arab American U.S. Senator elected back in 1970. And then in addition, closer to home here in Michigan, Rashida Tlaib, born and raised in Detroit and of Palestinian descent, who is currently serving as the first Palestinian American Muslim woman elected to the U.S. Congress. Highlights from our celebrations in the AAPS include 5th grade band students learning how to sing, and particularly Thurston Wines, Eberwhite, and Lawton learning to sing the Lebanese folk song Tick, 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 Ya Im Sleman with band teacher Melissa Carpenter. And we appreciate, it was mentioned earlier, but it is a rich resource for our district to have the Arab series of slides that was created by one of our very own Arab American teachers in the Ann Arbor Public Schools. We share these slides district-wide, and our teachers are able to use them in morning meetings or in closing circles, particularly during the month of April, so that students learn more about these important topics. The first topic, we've talked about this with our partners in Arab American Parent and Student Support Group for years, but that idea of Arabs versus Muslims and the information, this information that affects more than a quarter of the world's population, and yet it is often surprising how many folks are not aware. So we're helping our students to have that understanding. And then there's a component on Arabic and on cuisine and music and poetry. April is National Poetry Month, so there's a great synchronicity there. AAPS teachers, preschool through 12th, are sharing stories, read-alouds, highlighting Arab authors, recipes, dance, and music with their classrooms to honor Arab American Heritage Month. You'll see here some impressive library great collections that are on display in our media centers across the district. We are a stronger school community. We know that as we honor, embrace, and celebrate our diversity, continually create a culture of belonging for all, and value the connections that unite us as an inclusive Ann Arbor community. So that concludes my summary of our celebrations, and I would just invite folks to reach out to your neighborhood school and join in if you would like. So we'll move right into the superintendent's update. Thank you. Well, it's April and spring. I want to say spring has sprung, but we don't want to say that too quickly in Michigan because it could change. But we appreciate this beautiful weather, and we're celebrating in April National Arab American Heritage Month, our National Occupational Therapy Month, our OTs, and also Autism Acceptance Month. We absolutely want to give a shout out tonight to our occupational therapists across the district. I rarely go into a school, an elementary school especially, that I don't see the OTs. They're very visible because they're usually working with students out in a hallway or in some public spot to do the physical work that they do to help our students. Their focus is on health and wellness work, as they provide a integral part of our service and support of special education and AAPS school teams. The national theme this year is Occupational Therapy Brings Possibilities to Life. Our AAPS school-based occupational therapists enable students to live their life to its fullest every day by helping them promote health and either prevent or live better with injury, illness, or disability. Common occupational therapy interventions may include helping children with disabilities to participate fully in school, in social situations, helping students recover from an injury to regain cognitive and physical skills. We join together alongside the Board of Education, our students, staff, and families in celebrating AAPS occupational therapists for their tremendous role in empowering and promoting the success of our students. I want to give a shout out. I think Dr. Fedician is here. There she is in the back. We are so excited this week. There's a lot going on this week. I think tomorrow night there are at least 3 activities that trustees and the superintendent should all be at, and many other activities in the district. But one you should try to get to if you can is the screening of the film Swim Team, offered by our special education office, our Office of Special Education, tomorrow evening. The movie will also include, the screening will also include a discussion with the director. It is the real-life inspiring story of teens with autism who formed a competitive swim team. That will take place tomorrow night at Pioneer High School in the auditorium at 6 p.m. I wanted to share an update this evening. Trustees, over the previous 2 years, we've shared regular updates, but it's been just a little bit. And as we come into the spring, we know that folks, particularly parents of our youngest students, are in need of an additional update. So we'll be sharing this evening and then sharing it out with all of our parents and community members. We want to continue to hold that deep value around providing in support of our students and families before and after care in our schools. We have always been driven by our belief that the school location is an excellent place for extended day before and after school care. We continue this long tradition despite some very significant setbacks of this challenging time time, and particularly our labor shortage. Trustees, you're aware, but it bears repeating for our community, that while some sectors of our organization in the labor market have rebounded during this past year, and we're delighted and grateful for that. For example, our bus drivers. Trustees, I don't know if we paused a moment to be grateful lately, but I do about 7 a.m. every morning, that our bus driver labor team has really rebounded. There are some other areas, and one of our public commenters referenced paraeducators. That is true, particularly paraeducators of students with special learning needs. And then a second area, as you well know, is our child care workforce. So I know you all are aware, but just to reiterate, we have increased those wages throughout this past year. We currently pay more than most of the 80 jobs that you'll see posted on Indeed for the Ann Arbor area for childcare. We're right at the top of that mix of jobs in what we pay, but we have added benefits and the ability to have more hours a week. We have redesigned that job, and we're really delighted that we haven't seen as much turnover this year. So that is a sign that we're starting to really see some stabilization. But trustees, we are still in need of workers. And so out there, for folks that want to lend a hand, we would ask you to take our job posting and put it out on your networks. Working in service to our children, our youngest children, I can't think of a better job, a better opportunity. So I hope that we will see more applicants coming through. We will continue to support our families. We do by offering scholarships, and trustees who have been around, you will recall that during the relaunch, we partnered closely with the Child Care Network, and you remember we saw some infusion of dollars through that Child Care Network to offer additional scholarships. And I just want you to know that partnership continues. We have maintained, the AAPS has maintained our 20 elementary and K-8 school buildings in a state of full LARA licensure. And that is not an easy task. So we have maintained that during this time because we want to reopen the programs just as soon as we have appropriate staffing in place. We are committed to continuing our hard work to expand before and after school programming, and as staffing allows, to achieve programs across all 20 of our locations. And I'm not sure I said it, but we are currently at 10. So over this past year, we have opened 2 additional programs. We have seen a 50% increase in the number of students enrolled this year over last year. So we're currently serving about 250 students. Scholarships and fee waivers are available for families who qualify for free and reduced lunch. And it's a very simple, short way to get that scholarship. And we're currently scholarshiping about 18% of students in the program on some level. We have added positions, program directors, and very exciting to me, high school assistants. And just a shout out to all of our AAPS high school students. I know many of you are too busy with activities, but if you have 1 or 2 or 3 afternoons a week, or even 5 afternoons a week, we'd love to have you as a part of our after-school programming team. We continue to increase hourly pay and benefit options. And trustees, I have appreciated you all approved employee agreements last month who impacted some parts of this team, and you'll actually be looking at agreements this month that impact some other members of this team. So we are taking those steps and continue to increase that hourly rate and benefits. We are delighted to share that the retention has been strong this year. And trustees, that was not true in the before times, and it has not been true over the prior years. So this is a sign. You see the little signs on the side of the road that we're making progress. The stabilization of our workforce is a good, strong sign. We will continue, or they're working on themes and activities across all programs. They've really done a great job of reorganizing and redesigning the program across our schools. Trustees, I'm very grateful to get to share this spring update and look forward to your discussion, and then we'll be sharing it out more widely here in a day or so. Trustees, along with that information at your places, we're not printing these very much because nowadays we really work mostly with sending them on tech to use less paper, but these are our two support pieces for our Listen and Learn Ann Arbor, a community conversation. Mr. Cluley is bringing up the place on the website where you'll be able to watch for dates as they emerge. All of the information will be here in one place so that throughout the coming 8 weeks, trustees, you can check in to see what are more dates we've added to the calendar, what is the thought exchange look like. You'll be able to see all of that as it unfolds over the coming 8 weeks of our Listen and Learn. The premise of the Listen and Learn is very straightforward, and that is no one knows better the strengths, the celebrations, and the challenges, and the areas for needed improvement than those individuals who live and work and bring their children to us every day to learn and grow in the Ann Arbor Public Schools. As we prepare to move forward to plan our future and particularly to refine our strategic equity plan, we want to hear from the direct experiences of our stakeholders. Over the past 3 years, our folks have been great about responding in the way that we were able to during COVID, and you can see connected to this part of the website, all of that data. It gave us very clear buckets. Oh, there it is. Very clear areas for focus. So we are starting with areas that our community has shared with us. And then our process over the coming weeks will be to listen to see what refinements or adjustments or changes we might want to make in what we have been hearing for our strategic plan. There are 3 great ways to participate. One is to join in one of the public open meetings. We'll have several of those with dates up this week and dates being added. Secondly is to connect to one of your parent groups. So if you're a member of the district-wide Black Parent Student Community Support Group, connect with those folks or any of our other parent groups, our APAC group, our PTO council. That would be the second way to participate. The third way, for folks who may not be able to get to a meeting, is through the Thought Exchange tool. We know that some folks really appreciate that tool in lieu of attending a meeting. Other folks love to do the tool in addition to attending a meeting and having a conversation. And then there are folks who really will attend in person, but not care to fill out the thought exchange. I just want to be clear, we want to hear all ways. And it'll be great if you do more than one, but we want everyone to participate. You can keep updated on our progress right here on the website as we go. Trustees, earlier today, Miss Nancy Shore was out at Girls Group, one of our great stakeholder groups, and met with their staff. And already they filled in some of the thought exchange after their really wonderful conversation. She's been busy running from the meeting and me to the board meeting, so I haven't had the update yet, but I look forward to hearing. Tomorrow evening, we've been asked to join in and fall in alongside a special event out at Peace Neighborhood Center. They're expecting about 80 to 100 parents and families there. So I want to be clear, it is their special event, and we're honored to join in alongside. So it will not be a formal AAPS meeting. So we are excited to get out on the trail, and trustees, I appreciated that some of you, I think Trustee Gaynor already sent us corrections to our working list that was not perfectly updated, but we're getting that updated today and continuing to get that community list really refined from this kind of coming back together time. Lastly, our communication, we're just delighted last week to focus our A2 Schools podcast on the capital program, and the bond team, Chair Schmidt and trustees Basket and Gaynor had many things at their last meeting, and you'll see them tonight. But for those who weren't a part of that committee, Mr. Bernard Rice and Mr. Jason Bing from our capital program team do a great job of chatting about all the improvements that we're seeing with our capital program. If you want to stay up to date on Ann Arbor Public Schools, remember we are on Twitter and Facebook. We have our own podcast that you can get on Apple Podcasts or on Buzzsprout if you would like. And then we also have our AAPS YouTube channel. And just reminding folks that our great team produces board meetings by modules. So you no longer have to listen to the entire board meeting or scroll through to find the spot you're interested in. These presentations are produced individually, and that makes it a lot easier on YouTube to just find exactly what you're looking for. Trustees, for your more detailed information, Mr. Cluley has attached the March communications report. I appreciate the great work of that team. Trustees, we're so grateful for your partnership and support, and that of our students and our staff, our school teams. We're very fortunate to share in this Ann Arbor Public Schools community, and I appreciate the opportunity to share this superintendent update this evening.